Greenlands and starting off with a bunch of fertilizer to sell. I've kind of been hanging on to this, but we're at the point where we have a trailer full plus the production is nearly full, so better get it sold, and it brings in some lovely lumps of cash, which is always a bonus as well. What's that? £105,000. It's not bad, is it, for what was essentially cow poop? Yeah, it's gone through a fair bit of processing at this point, through the BGA, through the dryer, and into some white gold. That production is kind of cheaty, I know, but with the scale of the things we were doing on this farm, until Maize Plus hit, we would have really struggled without that. Maize Plus always changed things a lot. I decided not to show too much of the finishing the hay off. You can see I was running follow me with the Big M, and this worked really well because some of the fields, because the field boundaries are a bit funny, I couldn't get course play to do it, so this was a good way of getting the job done quickly without boring you guys with yet another baling video. Shout out to Brian. I used to say that it was unrealistic running something like the ARX on the baler, but one of the patrons is a farmer in Canada, and they do indeed sometimes run tractors like the ARX on a baler. So realism is key, remember. So this is the first load of bales. There were a couple, so I'm going to stick these in the bale store rather than the giant bale shed, just because this is it makes it easier for feeding, because this one lets you tip in like it's a silo as well. So yeah, it's kind of cheaty, but the scale of the feeding on here means that kind of cheaty is actually kind of normal. So yeah, there we go. We now have 900 odd thousand litres of hay in the barn. We got 78 bales off of those fields that we had to do. So nice to see the hay bales looking good. Not so good for the whole crop silage, but I think we might be getting into that next video. So yep, I didn't show it in the previous video, but I leased the big Volvo wheel loader, like the one I had on Attingham, to load up bales into the industrial BGA down here. We have so much grass silage that basically my intent is to stick all of this through the industrial BGA and turn it into cash. So these are the leftover bales from the cut we got off of here in autumn last year, and then we've got the yellow bales, which are the ones we got off of the cut we did in, actually it may have been in, I think we did it in April, I don't remember. Yeah, it must have been in April, the cut that we did off of the mega field before we planted the corn in it. So yeah, this is all going to turn into cash, which is good, because the original reason for doing the mega field was to have it as a silage cash crop, whereas we've ended up feeding most of the maize silage to the cows. So this is kind of counterbalancing that. It's a bit of a job. It's a bit of a job. I tried a couple of ways of doing this. I tried an auto load trailer. I've got the little one, the Farm Tech, behind these buildings, and that sort of worked, but actually this was kind of the quickest way. The quicker way that I remembered later on is there's a bale trigger in front of this. Yes, I know I made the mod, but hey, sometimes you forget stuff. There is a bale trigger in front, so I could actually pick up like 8 bales at a time. One thing I don't understand is Giants have set it to spawn 25 bales. It may be because the different sizes spawn differently, but spawning 25 of the smaller round bales gives you an odd stack. It should be 28 to get an even stack. That might vary as you go up in bale size and they take up more space in the spawn area. I don't know. We'll find out as we go through. But yeah, that was kind of frustrating for me, because I could have done with the extra 3 bales, because it would have made for more even loads. So it is Monday morning before work on the day this video should release, because I am really behind on creating content. I went from being pretty far ahead. I think I had 6 videos pre-recorded to basically none. I have this video recorded, and I have tomorrow's Maple Farm video recorded, which I need to voice at some point today. I'm hoping to get a Timberborn video done. I know not all of you care about that series, but I enjoy making it, so there. And that's going to be a new season because I've installed the new update to that, so we're going to have a look at that. May not get time this week. We will see how things go today. So now that all of the grass fields are mown and all the grass has been picked up and almost all of the bales, I'm going to go around and get them all fertilized. And because we produce so much solid fert, I'm just going to run around with the solid fert spreader because it'll be easier, and there is a lot of land to cover. I also need to fertilize the mega field because if you remember, we did that with the monstrous Yakto thing, which used liquid fert, and I didn't want to pay for all the liquid fertilizer when we're making our own cheap solid fert. And that's really where the Sopima trailer will come in, because it lets us carry a heck of a lot of fertilizer. For the grass fields, we're just going to hook up directly because we don't need that much fertilizer, and this is kind of a cheaty spreader. So the combination of the two means that we should be fine. Also working on getting manure and slurry through the mini BGA, trying to keep on top of that. We have huge amounts of electric charge backed up. I am contemplating adding in some of the BGA network distributors. So the mod that I made last year to replace the generators that we're using on here when the BGA pack got updated and made it not compatible with standard biogas plants. Yes, it's getting kind of cheaty, but you know, sometimes I don't know. I could just put in more of the generators we've got, to be honest, and just try and up the capacity of those. I might just do that. So it saves adding another mod in. I don't think I've ever actually used the BGA network distributor that I made, apart from when I tested it, which is kind of amusing, I guess. Let's have a little look. I'm curious. So although I haven't released any mods in a while, I do still like to have the mods that I created are still being downloaded. So I do occasionally check on things. I'm actually up to 850,000 downloads of my mods, which blows my mind as someone who is not really a real modder and just kind of tinkers about. Of that, fixed crop prices is 300,000 downloads. Just nuts in my mind. And the mini BGA is not far behind that on 200,000 downloads. So the rest vary. The network distributor is only on 50,000. So that's yeah. The bulk of them are made up of the two BGAs and fixed crop prices. And I guess the nice thing about fixed crop prices is it does work on all platforms. There's a stray bale, and now it's a fertilized stray bale. Yeah, so the least popular ones, which really doesn't surprise me, are the Maize Plus specific ones, because you know they're not all platform, and I kind of made those really almost on request, kind of, and because there was a gap, and that's why I like to make things. So yeah, it's quite kind of interesting. I did actually qualify for some sort of award, the console award, in fact, and I've been waiting for that to arrive forever. So we'll see. Given that all my mods are, most of my mods, apart from the two that I just mentioned, are all platforms, it wasn't really surprised that I got the console one. It'd be really nice to get to the 1 million downloads. Just, I think you get something for that. That would be kind of cool, I think. Yeah, I am working on a couple of things in the background, and I did actually post a sneak preview of that on the patrons page. So yeah, only a couple of pictures, just because I'm kind of proud of what I'm working on. It's going to be a few weeks, I think, at the rate that I'm going. Yeah, it feels like I'm burning the candle at both ends and in the middle at the moment, and there's nothing in particular. It's just kind of everything's quite busy. Everything's quite busy. Work is somewhat busy. Life has been kind of busy for a while. Training for ultramarathon is very inconsistent, but when I do, quite tiring. I've been spending pretty much every Saturday for quite a while running for most of it. So yeah, losing most of a day at the weekend really does impact the time to record videos and also do fun side projects like making mods. I have to really be careful that I've spoken about it before. When I think it's something that Kartek found as well. When you start doing this stuff, it's so easy to lose hours and hours. Like the stuff that I'm working on at the moment has pushed my understanding of the game a bit. And if something doesn't work, it's like, okay, so a little bit of a tank slapper there. Like, okay, I can get it to work this way, it won't work this way. So if it's like testing so many things, and it's like, okay, I'm nearly there. I'm just gonna do one more thing and just one more thing and just one more thing, and suddenly hours have gone by, and in the end I did achieve what I wanted to achieve. It's about, because I don't consider myself to be a proper modder. I kind of mess about with bits and pieces, and I found that there are bits of the game that I really don't understand with what I'm working on at the moment, or I didn't understand, and I've had to take time to develop that understanding a bit of how things work. So yeah, it's interesting, but as I said, it's something that I'm have to balance the time on, because otherwise I will far too soon have spent an entire day on the weekend tinkering with modding projects, and the reality is that gameplay doesn't record itself, unfortunately. Maybe in the future with AI, I can just tell some sort of AI engine to go away and record me some farm sim video in the style of me, and it will go away and make the video. Yeah, I have seen, and I don't know how it would work. It would be kind of interesting to ask it to write me a script. And it's kind of hard because it wouldn't be able to see the footage, I guess. But if there was a way that it could, and I don't ever write scripts anyway, but to write me a script for a video in the style of me. I have seen for things, it's mostly Linus Tech Tips, where they have asked ChatGPT to write them scripts for videos about something in the style of them, and actually it was pretty good at doing it. It was pretty good. The future of some types of content creating, I think, is a bit sketchy. I think because I look at AI related stuff, I see an awful lot of videos suggested where it will be, I created a YouTube channel with ChatGPT and one of the image generation things, and it is possible, you can get it to write scripts for things, probably with so we're just setting up Courseplay to run the mega field. I'm not going to make you watch me fertilize that. It's a monstrous job. With AI voice generation these days, you could probably get it to do everything for you in not very long. The bit that I find, whether it's they use budget options, because I see it on some YouTube ads that very budget AI voice generation is very obviously AI. So I think it has a way to go, but I think it's going to be interesting times in the future. Talking about ads, and I'm going to try and keep this generic just to not single out a particular thing that really bugs me about YouTube ads. When YouTube serves me an ad I don't particularly like, more so, I don't know if you can do it in the video ones, so it's more so in the ones that appear in your feed. I will tell it that I find this video, I will report the ad. Yeah, it still serves me those same damn ads, and I wonder how many times I have to tell YouTube that I find the ad inappropriate before it will stop serving it up to me. Yeah. Some of it is related to the game that we play, and to be honest, if I wanted to go and watch that, I'd go and find it myself. I don't need a freaking ad to tell me it exists. So yeah, it's interesting that people... I'm going to go and grab a tractor to get this bale now. Now I've fertilised it so it becomes, so it grows bigger. Yeah, why YouTube... It's an interesting trend. I'm seeing it a few times that people are... It's going to maybe become more specific. People are buying ad time for their YouTube videos. So rather than, so I'm getting videos for farm sim... I'm getting ads for farm sim videos appearing, and I have no idea if that's cost effective. I'd be surprised. I'd be very surprised. And personally, I don't want to see them. So, if I guess it's if you're rich and you're trying to create a YouTube channel, it's a way of getting exposure, and it may work, but for me it's a bit like clickbait. And so I get repetitive ads for farm sim videos appear in my feed. They're not recommendations, they are paid ads, and I refuse to go watch them because it's like clickbait. So it is what it is, I guess. Now I have pondered, and because I understand the mechanic of clickbait, and I have pondered using it on videos. I do occasionally try it, usually not on Let's Play videos, more often on the videos that are aimed at not regular subscribers, like the one that I've mentioned before, the big case tractor and the loader and picking up a sugar beet harvester. That was entirely clickbait. It didn't make that much difference to the number of views that I got. I'm hoping they didn't bother any of the regulars. So rarely for me, I am going to go around and mulch all of the grass, just because I felt like it. Not any particular reason, I just kind of felt like it. So I thought it was a different job to do, if I'm honest, because just fertilizing was a bit dull. So yeah, yeah, I have thought about it, and they are it's something that I have considered using. There is a specific topic that I want to discuss, and I feel that it would make a really clickbaity title. And whilst I'm so torn because I dislike clickbait so much. There's a topic that that's really cropped into my mind lately that I want to talk about in a video. I'm not trying to be an arse by trailing it. It would make a really good clickbait title. And that gives me a dilemma as a specific thing. It's about kind of the path that I've taken through content creation and my opinions on things and the impact of some of those opinions on things. And so, I thought a really good clickbaity title would have been something like, decisions have been made, or was this the right thing to do? That kind of thing. It's a clickbaity title I see quite a lot. So actually, I was just going to have a look here. This is the Blue Power T6 that's methane powered that I made. And I'd forgotten what I'd done on this, so I was just looking around at the decals that I put on. I think I got these off the New Holland website, maybe. Don't remember where I grabbed them from. But yeah, available on my Discord if you're interested. Somewhere, buried somewhere on there. It's just the base game T6 converted to run on methane. Because weirdly, the base game T6 has the blue power colours in it. I just don't think they're selectable. So yeah, I kind of a mod that I did for myself really as a bit of a learning thing, and stuck it on Discord. If you're interested, there's also an electric converted older case which I've used in some tutorials. So yeah. So talking about that clickbaity topic, it's one of those things where it might get people to click on the video more, but it's really just going to be me rambling about something I would ramble about in a video anyway. So I don't know. Anyway, let's say thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members at this point. I have mentioned one of them already. He is one of two very, very awesome people. The other one being Jay, who support me at the top tier on Patreon. I never expected that tier would get full, which is cool. It's really great. Really appreciate it. And everyone else, the other patrons, the YouTube channel members, you guys are all awesome. But just a little bit of the fertilizing work over on the mega field. This took quite a bit of fertilizer. I did actually have to run back and get it refilled. The field was not in excellent condition, and Mate uses a reasonable amount of fertilizer with precision farming. Yeah, not a big job, and some excellent camera work there, trying to get a nice shot of the New Holland doing some more of the mulching. Just finishing up the fertilizing. You can see I did have to get some more in to get the job done. But that's that done. I've made a decision with the chickens, probably a decision that will be implemented in the next video. I think I mentioned it already actually. So I needed to refill the spinnery, so I've brought over all we have. But yeah, the chickens, once they've eaten all the food, the chickens are going. They are a pain in the butt to feed with Maize Plus and that many chickens. Yes, whoever told me that, you were right. It was a lot of work, and more work than I want to carry on doing at this point. So yeah, I'm going to sell all the chickens off. That might be an off-camera job because I'm not clicking 7,500 times to sell them all. So just looking at the clothes, we have 22,000 litres of clothes, and the price is still not far off the peak, and it's dropping. So I thought it would be a good point to sell it. This is the auto load trailer that I mentioned earlier. And remembering that realism is key, I thought we could just stick this on the back of the pickup. You know, it's a dolly trailer. It's not that much weight. Assuming it's braked, it'll be fine, and it's not much that we're going to be on actual public roads, so yeah, sure, it will be absolutely fine. We do have the slight challenge of reversing it, and my trick that I used last time to speed up the spawning of pallets didn't seem to work this time, so I did just have to sit and wait for them to spawn. But we have quite a few to get sold, which is very nice because money and seeing where we end up. I don't remember what I have to do in June. Might be actually, we're probably going to be doing some whole crop for a bit, but that's about it, I think. So we might end up skipping June and getting into July. June is one of those weird months in Farm Sim that I've found where not a lot happens. I'm finding it on Maypole as well. It's one of those quiet months where you get caught up on stuff, but we're fairly caught up on stuff on here. So let's see how much we're going to get for selling all of this stuff. Yeah, that's like £325,000 worth of disturbed hoodies. You know, we've got to shift that merch. Don't buy the merch. I don't think it's that good. I think I've taken most of it off of the store, but I know some of you bought the mug and no one's complained, so maybe go buy the mug if you want to buy merch. That was one of those things that I did on a whim based on a few requests and has been massively unsuccessful. I think I've sold 3 mugs, so yeah. Just loading more silage into the BGA, and you can see now I'm being more sensible and using the trigger at the front. But you can also see what I was saying about if it would spawn 3 more bales of this size, it would be really good, because I would have a 4 and a 3 to pick up rather than, well, a 6 and an 8 rather than a 8 and a 3. So yeah, that would have made things a bit quicker, but you know, we are shifting a fair amount of silage into this BGA, so going to be a nice payout when it gets caught up. As I said, we're generating electric charge significantly quicker than we can sell it through the distributors. So the decision is whether I add more of the generators. So I could add more generators in, I could add in my network distributors, or I could be patient and hope it sells before we finish, or I could just switch it to selling rather than distributing and direct sell some of it and make half the money. At this point, it probably doesn't matter if I just make half the money, but we're trying to see how much cash we can make. So I would be surprised if we can get it all sold before we wrap things up on here, is my concern. Although I don't think we're going to do any more silage cuts on here. Or hay. I might end up doing it. We'll see. It depends if there's a big gap between finishing all of the harvesting, including the silaging, and the sugar beets being ready. Because the sugar beets will be one of the last videos that we do, I think. So that little cut was me dealing with the front door, I think. I think I had an Amazon, some sort of delivery came, I think. So yeah, just going to put these. I think this is the last lot of bales that I put in. I think that's most of the smaller ones in the BGA now. So we'll be on to the 180 centimetre ones made with Mark IV's quick bale. But I'm going to say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, click the like button. Comments, questions, suggestions below. And I will see you next time on Greenlands.